everybody, once again to the next installment to your favorite entrepreneurial game, Side Hustle Live. I'm your host, Tim Palladino. I am joined here today, as always, with pleasure, my Side Hustle business partners, Darby Rollins and Tomer Saran. And our special guest today is Nick Loper from Side Hustle Nation. That's that right? Loper?
Loper.
We encourage you guys to play along with us if you are watching and you want to hear from you. We want to see what your pitches are going to be. If the unfortunate events are that you are not watching us live, you can watch this on our YouTube channel later on. And please leave comments. We want to see what other pitches you have. It's so much fun watching the interaction and hearing all these wacky, funny, and funnable ideas. If you want more Side Hustle, follow us on all social medias with the tag @PlaySideHustle. If you do not already own a copy of Side Hustle, the party game for entrepreneurs, tongue twisted again, then by all means, make your way over to Amazon.com and grab your copy today to play with your friends and family. Does not matter if you are in person or if you are virtual. The fun is all the same, just like we're doing here. Let's get to know our guests a little bit better before going over the rules and playing the first round. Nick, how are you today?
Doing good. This is my first time playing the game. I was excited by the name of it, the description, and what you guys were able to do on Kickstarter. And so I think it's pretty cool.
Excellent. And now, see, let me make sure this is correct. Darby, you knew Nick?
I've been following Side Hustle Nation for a while.
Yeah, really impressive Side Hustle Nation. I was doing a lot of digging into that. The YouTube channel is fantastic. Great work over there.
Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about what, in a quick little, 1 minute summary or so, what is Side Hustle Nation as it is today? And we can go from there.
You bet. So this is my blog podcast community for aspiring and part-time entrepreneurs, showcasing different legit ways to make extra money in your spare time. And it's been a project for the last 8-ish years for me, coming up on 8 years. Hundreds and hundreds of interviews to binge on in the archives and say from real people who've been there, done that. How did they get it done? I love deconstructing that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you specified legit ways.
Sure.
I'm sure you've heard a bunch of pitches for all sorts of other things these days, but I'm glad to hear it. Great. Should we all start around and play a little bit?
Let's rock and roll.
The rules real quick.
All right.
Pop them up. So if you guys are just joining us or if you've been here before, let's go over the rules again so you can get a refresher. The investor draws a business card and rolls the industry die. The entrepreneurs will then take the time to brainstorm their idea. Each entrepreneur will take turns pitching their ideas to the investor. Then the investor will award the funny and fundable card to one player, 2 players. It can go anywhere. The funny and fundable cards are point system. So if funny is 1 point, fundable is 1 point. We also have the industry die that when it's rolled, we have tech and apps, media and entertainment, toys and games, sports and outdoors, home goods, fashion and retail, but not limited to investor's choice. We snuck that in there. So you can go ahead and say anything from, what was it last week? Edibles in celebration. Mm-hmm. And we've had
the space industry. We've had horse breeds. We've had anything that you can imagine that is a category of things that you want to hear about. You can say it in if investor's choice pops up as a subject.
Yeah, it's kind of fun as the investor to kind of like put the screws to the other people, make it as difficult as possible to make them really, really strain. At least that's how I like to play.
Yeah.
You guys ready for the first round?
Yes, please. All right. I will roll our die here. Nick will start as our investor, as our guest of honor. 3 was the roll, which is media and entertainment is the category. All right. Let's shuffle these cards a little. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the name for our side hustle is Universe in media and entertainment. I'm going to type that up on the screen there. In the meantime, Nick, can you tell me a little bit more about, what what somebody might be able to find over at Side Hustle Nation, and what you're looking for from guests or guest posters or things to help your community out. Like what should people be looking for?
You bet. So I guess the content that does the best for me is the one that kind of checks the box of like low barrier to entry, low startup cost, no special skills required. Those are the ones that kind of get people excited and nodding along like, yeah, you know what? I could do that. And so there's lots of examples. Maybe a couple of the ones that I'm most excited about right now are kind of in the home services space, taking even a basic understanding of digital marketing and applying that to a traditionally, blue collar local type of business, because the entrenched competition there is, still operating, like it's 1998, fax us for a quote type of a thing. So I see some opportunity there. And the other one that's exciting right now is in the online like email newsletter space, which is really valuable. I'm thinking of like a curated newsletter model where as a subscriber for those, like this is super valuable because it's like you're cutting through all the clutter for me, and I learned to trust your judgment. It becomes a part of my weekly routine, daily routine, and over time, as that audience grows, you can monetize with ads, affiliates, your own product services. You've got some options down the road.
Who would you say is an email newsletter that you like, who you think is doing it well? You know what I mean? Someone for somebody to emulate, for example, that you yourself actually enjoy.
So Contrarian Thinking is from Cody Sanchez, who was a guest on the show.
Cool.
I kind of have to set aside some time when I see that email come in, because I know it's going to be like some in-depth analysis of whatever random industry she's decided to pick apart in this week's newsletter. One that I like just as a personal finance nerd is called All Star Money, which is a new project from Motley Fool and in collaboration with Jay Money, who used to run a site called Budgets Are Sexy. And it's just like, here's every day, here's the top 3, personal finance articles that we found. Lots of interesting perspectives on saving, investing, business stuff in there too. Yeah.
It's nice when you learn how, hey, people in the past have been able to have money work for them. Anyone can learn to do so once you set up a few of the right mechanisms in place. But of course, everything's changing every day. So I really appreciate that you're keeping that education front of mind for yourself.
Yeah, I get to learn more every time, which is inspiring. I don't know. It's no 2 days are alike, which is what keeps it interesting.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what these Motley Fools here have brought to the table today. We are pitching to our fantastic guest, Nick, here. Our side hustle is Universe in media and entertainment. Darby.
Yes, I will go first. I volunteer as tribute. Thank you for joining us today here, Nick. My name is Darby, and my business is called Universe. It's an entertainment product unlike anything you've ever seen, because it is actually you. Now, what we've done at Universe is identified the core problem that is really infesting the internet, is that there is not as much of you or me as we'd like. We're having trouble duplicating ourselves. And so as an entertainment industry, the thing that we're trying to solve here is by using artificial intelligence and our patented proprietary technology to actually develop clones of you to interact with more people on the internet more times, get more interviews, get more podcasts, more TV shows, more celebrity fame, and everything that comes with that, and all your fortune, by being more places at the same time. Universe allows you to create your own entertainment empire, and it all just starts with you and us.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Well, you're welcome also to ask any questions if they come up to your mind. Feel free to harass him a little bit if something comes up, or pick his brain about his idea if it comes to pass.
Sometimes there are days where it's like, oh, if I could just clone myself, I have an AI copy go go stand in and do this interview? Okay.
Absolutely. I'm glad that works. Tim, can you hit us up with the next universe for media and
I can
entertainment?
do it. Universe in media and entertainment. Nick, you've lived an extraordinary life, and that needs to be documented. But what we need to do first is we need to write your story and we need to cast your life. So what we're going to do is use the first of its kind app that is linked into the IMDb, that's the Internet Movie Database, and compare do face recognition with all the main characters of your life with who's going to be playing those people. I don't know who you're going to be played by, but I know it's going to be someone very handsome with a beard. I'm just saying, pandering to the to the guy with money.
Michael Tomer. I feel like we got the doppelganger thing going right now.
Wanna go?
Stuff. So this is the as I said, first of its kind to pull from the Internet Movie Database to then cast your friends and write your story, set up a treatment for the movie or the film or the TV show, and also negotiate the contracts between you and the studios. Unless you want to go independent, then we have an add-on for that. But that is universe in media and entertainment.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
So man, I love the faces you give me after. You're like, all right, didn't quite see that coming.
No, not quite, but I appreciate it. All right. So, hello. Our business is Yo Universe. As you can see here, spelled Yo Universe. And we are an MTV News type program for outer space, hosted by Greg Orff. And he is our registered alien monster who is the ultimate newscaster. And he basically broadcasts out to the farthest reaches of space. You would not believe what is happening 5 parsecs from here. Well, guess what? Today you can find out in Yo Universe. We're the youthful news system. We're kind of like the Vice of space news. And that's kind of where we're at these days. So if you want to invest in a multi-trillion-dollar industry of space news, hop on today with Yo Universe. That's a picture of a galaxy.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thanks for specifying.
Looks like you got your work cut out for you. Got any questions for Tomer?
Yeah.
What's you got what kind of ratings are you getting? What kind of viewership
Like 3 tentacles every day,
Yeah.
like
there we go.
5 tentacles up, 3 tentacles down, every direction.
Okay.
We're not exactly sure how the tentacle rating system works yet, but we're learning. But we're very, very, very high up there. Well,
that was good. You guys are all so creative. Oh my gosh.
Well, Nick, don't worry about it. All you got to do is an easy decision there and upset Darby. Don't worry about it.
It should be obvious.
You have 2 cards here, Nick, and you can hand them out however you'd like. One to one to a person, one to another, both to one person. Nobody can get any because you're feeling cool. Do what works for you. But before you do, why don't you kind of summarize what you heard from us and then hand them out.
So I heard from Tim the movie of your life, using, I guess, the people in your camera roll to match up with IMDb who looks similar, and we can create that feature length film for your legacy. I heard AI, social media, doppelgangers, clones, I think from Darby, and Vice for outer space audience. So I think that one earns the funny card. The Yo Universe earns the funny card.
Nice.
Well okay. I'll keep this in my pocket.
And I do like the idea of some leaving some sort of legacy behind with your family, and I've actually come across businesses that'll do that. They'll sit down and interview your grandparents, for 3 hours, and they'll turn it into like, NPR style podcast episode that, the grandkids can listen to later.
That's cool.
But
That is cool.
as far as fundable, I think it does have to go to Darby for this AI social media thing.
I'm
Just
in
me
a
handing
rut.
it down for
It's
the
gonna,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and
Official
build your own platform once we made all the money with the AI Nick's
Yeah.
running around.
It's
Well,
like
even though I
I've
didn't
seen
get
this.
funded.
I've seen this movie. It doesn't end well for the humans, but it feels like that's where we're going, anyways.
Yeah,
Even
doesn't
though
really
you guys
end well
didn't
for us.
fund me. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know that guy's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
He is doing great in the 5 to 420-year-old demographic. Don't be species.
Hey,
Okay.
Listen, a parsec isn't like a parsec like a mile.
No, a parsec is a unit distance that light travels, I think, in maybe a minute. I forget exactly that distance.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Is it an actual thing?
Yeah, it
became an actual
it-
thing.
No, it's just a thing.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, like a light year is a distance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Next up, you know what? I feel like being investor.
Do it.
So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll 5. 5 is toys and games. Okay. This sounds fascinating. All right, everybody. I'm gonna hide this. Right now we're playing Side Hustle with our friends here. Nick Loper is in town. Okay, everyone. Today, your side hustle is Wishmonger Industries. And that is in toys and games. All right. I'll be typing that up in a second here, but give yourself some time to think about it. In the meantime, I'll let everyone know that we are working hard on the Mach 2 of Side Hustle. We heard you out there in the world, and we are delivering as soon as possible a portable, more portable version that you can fit in your purse, in your backpack, in your EDC carry, that you can take anywhere, and that is a little more party friendly. The box that we have, we are very proud of. We love the magnetic closures in the presentation, and it fits great on your shelf. But we wanted something that you can throw in your bag, take to the camp, and play wherever you are. So we're working hard on that, and we're always happy to hear your ideas. And we started this from the beginning as, on Kickstarter. This is something for the community, and built in part by the community. And so, we're listening, and we're here to improve what we can to make this game the game that everyone can and wants to play. And that's why we did it in the toys and games category, which is ironically what we're about to do here. Games. Besides that, we're working on a bunch of educational elements and lesson plans for schools and younger adults to learn, and for teachers to utilize the game for different lesson plans, whether it be an actual like business development class or just as a brainstorming mechanism. We've also I've also had conversations with creative educators like graphic designers or marketers who are using this by generating businesses that people will play and pitch, and then they use that as the basis business for the rest of the projects. So for example, great, let's do Wishmonger Industries and toys and games, and then congrats, that your group gets to make the logo for that, for a graphic designer, or for hey, you guys have to write the pitch, or the jingle to it. Those are some of the places that we've been pushing on the creatives. But there's all sorts of different ways this can go. If you have any ideas, reach out to us. Just hit us up at Play Side Hustle anytime.
Yeah.
All right. We're here with Nick, Tim, and Darby, and we are going to be looking at Wishmonger. Ooh, it was actually Wishmonger Industries. I'm going to change that. And someone's going to pitch. Who will start? Please, somebody
I
pick
can-
while I do this.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead. I can go ahead and start.
Give me a sec. I'll just put this up on the thing. That's why it'll help. All right. Go ahead.
All right. This is for Wishmonger Industries in toys and games. Kids, are you sick and tired of your parents saying no? Are you frustrated with that? Well, let's go ahead and put a stop to that. So, Wishmonger Industries is the first first interplanetary wishmonger. I'm sorry, it started with the first wishmonger. Chris, I can't even speak at all. My tongue is just broken. And take two. It comes from the first wishmonger crystal that we found from outer space, and it's to get there. You have to go through the sweets cave. You have to go through the candy cave. Get all jacked up on sugar crystals, and then you go to the wishmonger crystal, where all day your parents are no longer allowed to say no. Anything you want gets done as long as it's legal and ethically okay. But that is Wishmonger Industries in toys and games.
So it's an actual place. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's an experience. Think of it as like an escape room.
Okay, so it's a space rock that landed, and when you go there, your wishes come true. Is that correct?
Yes, it's all the things that you wanted from your parents that they can't say no to.
Got it.
Like, hey, I'm going to go to the zoo.
Got it.
Yep,
Genie
that's it.
Rock is what you've invented. Thank you. All right. Nick, would you like to give it a swing?
I'll take a crack at it.
Thank you,
This
sir.
is Wishmonger Industries for toys and games. This is the virtual reality game app for people who love to travel, but due to physical restrictions, financial hardships, or pandemic restrictions, just can't make it happen. So how it works is you plug into the Wishmongers Industries VR headset, and you can take a tour. You can instantly find yourself in Istanbul, in Bangkok, in Paris, wherever you want to go. It'll feel so real. It'll be like you're there. And the game version has different puzzles and challenges and quests that you can complete to compete against other players worldwide. And down the road, we'll even plan on adding fictional landscapes like Springfield from The Simpsons.
Okay, this sounds like a lot of fun. Great. Are you imagining like full haptic suits for this, or just at the moment just a VR headset that you can just unwind with?
Yeah, I guess just a headset. Maybe that's an upsell, is the full haptic rig experience.
Sure, floating. I'm in Greece.
You're on strings.
Yeah, I'm on strings. I'm floating in the Greek Ocean, or
Yes.
sorry, I guess the Mediterranean is an ocean. Very cool. I like that. Will you also include travel discomfort, where you're like, oh, I have to navigate my way through a city? I guess you could do that as a puzzle, right? Where you have to like find your way through.
Yeah, that should definitely be one of the challenges, like figure out how to use the metro or something, but avoiding all of the pains and challenges of airports and airplane travel and jet lag and all that jazz.
Yeah, I think that you guys should team up with The Amazing Race and make this a sit-at-home version of The Amazing Race.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. Darby, please hit us up.
Absolutely, Tomer, and everyone. Thank you for being here again today. My business is Wishmonger Industries. We are in the gaming industry, but we're actually more specifically than just being in the gaming industry is we're making games out of an entire industry. And what is that industry, you ask? Well, I have an answer for you. Everyone's heard of the Hunger Games, right?
Okay.
Didn't you, as a consumer of the entertainment of the Hunger Games, didn't you ever wish that you could have joined in something of that kind of fun extensiveness without actually dying? It looked like a lot of fun, I'm not going to lie. And so I went ahead and developed Wishmonger Industries to partner with these different, entertainment studios that are putting out these movies and take the core concepts of them and sell them to billionaires' kids so that they can experience this this fun, fantastical sort of like really over the top event that no one should realistically be able to afford, and sell it to them because they can't afford it. So we only need to make like 1 or 2 sales a decade to really crush it. And some of these things take a long time to build if you're, recreating a Hunger Games for one person in particular. But, our margins are huge. And we know there's only about 50 people on the planet that can actually afford us, and we've got all of them on speed dial. So
it's a battle royale for rich kids, but they don't die, correct?
It's like a real world like recreation of an event. So we can do Star Wars. That's actually planned for 2032.
Okay.
We just got a 500
giant sets where you live a movie, essentially, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That sounds fun and ridiculously expensive. Sounds very much like a little bit like the movie The Game, where everybody is an actor in your life for a moment.
Favorite movie of all time.
It's a weird one that I need to rewatch. And then, okay. Hilarious. I feel like a lot of these kids might already think that their life is a movie that everyone else is an actor in. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, entrepreneurs. For Wishmonger Industries and Toys and Games, we heard from Tim with his meteor that landed and grants wishes that allows kids to do all the things that their parents wouldn't normally allow them to do. Essentially, he's invented a genie. And we have Nick with a headset that a VR headset that is focused on travel experiences and allowing you to get out of the house. All the more noticeable and needed these days with everyone being at home. And we all agreed that he should partner with Mark Burnett for an Amazing Race combo. And then we have Darby, who's invented movies that are in real life where rich people are the protagonist. It feels a lot like Westworld. So that's cool too. I will say, from a fundable perspective, I would love to give this to Nick. Well done, my friend. That should be in everyone's pocket anytime to escape to a little island or to go play games. I see this doing very well. And for funny, I have to give it to Darby because it's ridiculous to me that you would set up essentially like build an entire Disney World for one person and run it that way, and you're refusing to let anyone else be a part of it, which is the crazy thing to me, but cool. Works. Just interesting from a business perspective. Great. Thank you, everyone. All right. Let's do another round. What do you guys say?
Yeah. I'll take investor at this point.
Okay. Tim is investor. We'll roll that. Tim, it's investor's choice. Okay. So go nuts, my friend.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to actually change this pretty radically. Let's hope it works. So what I'd like to do is self-help book.
Sure. Can we make it how about can we just make it just self-help so it's a little more
sure.
I think you said self-help book.
Okay, fair enough.
Are we pushing that book? Written by humans only.
Jesus. No AI.
No AI.
Self-help book. I just figured the self-help industry is a full industry in itself, But I guess I'm wrong, Darby. I get it. It's fine.
All I was saying was that I thought I heard Tim say book. Like he's the investor.
Sure.
Is that what you were saying, Darb?
All right. Well, let's see how this goes. Pit shop in self-help book.
Oh hell yeah, this is good.
Oh boy. Well, I'll be writing that up.
All right.
Show me again. What was it called?
Yeah. Pit shop. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Tim, why don't you catch us up a little bit? What's going on?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch going on, and a lot of it's coming right to a head soon. The next 30 days are going to be pretty rad. First thing I want to actually add, I'm field testing this little gem right here. It's the first time, probably last time you'll see it until it becomes real. It's a SideHustle notebook, 100 pages of lined paper, 50 pages of dot grid, just like what you get with the game. And field testing it, seeing if it's viable, seeing it like you would with any type of startup business. Just got a couple, handing them out, and just making sure it works, making sure the paper is good, the size is good, all those little things. Because listen, when we're coming up with new business ideas, whether it be in real life or in a game, our notebook is what's going to create what happens. That's our rule book. It's not just a notebook, it's our rule book. So my notebooks are so important to me. It's where I learn from my mistakes and where I create from those lessons. Outside of that, I've been putting together a project that it's really near and dear to my heart and something I've been building for a while. As you may know already, I have what is called the entrepreneurial hierarchy of needs assessment, where it is an assessment that you do every 12 weeks to kind of like score and rank where you are in life, making sure that you're intentional and you're moving in the proper direction, and any speed bumps don't knock you off too much. We are now making that a physical book that you can buy in Amazon, about the same size as the one I just showed you. And we are releasing within the next 30 days our podcast. All the things that we lack strength in, whether it be fitness or finances, or just understanding different relationship types, or it's just so fascinating. The people that I have, we're going to be talking about everything from how to start a Kickstarter with my friend Eric Chen, that you guys have met if you're fans of the show here, all the way to sex therapists and like getting your head wrapped around certain things like that. So there's a lot of really excellent things. Our first season is going to be 6 episodes, and then we're going to be doing a follow-up right after that, after we kind of like tweaked it a little bit, of a second season of another 12 episodes. And the categories there are our health, our wealth, our recreation, our relationships, and our businesses. So that's what you can expect from me.
Good stuff, bud. Yeah. Congrats on the podcast. Congrats on releasing it.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, I always agree. Prototype it up, see how it plays. You never know till you hold something kind of in your hand, and then you know how it feels.
Yeah,
or maybe it's a digital
testament.
product. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just as we were talking about, I think it was yesterday, and I shot back at you today. It's like done is better than good. That's what you told me the other day, and it's like it's such
done is better than perfect. Done is better.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. Sorry about that. Done is better than perfect, and it's one of those things like being such a. I wouldn't consider myself a perfectionist, but like when you have so many elements, there can be a sense of nothing is good enough, and it could really slow you down, and that's the enemy of progress.
Yeah, that's why we're iterating. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what kind of silly ideas we can come up for Tim's silly subject matter. I'm just kidding. But in the vein of self-help book that Tim has recently written and released, we're going to be playing with our side hustle of Pit Shop. Does anyone feel like jumping right into it?
As a matter of fact, I do. Pit Shop, a self-help book that documents Bruce Wayne's life as a surviving merchant in the pit of despair that he was recovering from in Batman. What was it? It was Returns or Begins? Is that mood?
You're the author.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in the pit with Bruce Wayne, Batman, as he was recovering from his imminent downfall, his loss to Bane, and I learned a lot inside of this pit. And what the real thing that stood out to me through my lessons with Bruce Wayne and learning from a real life superhero was that sometimes you just got to blend in and make it work. And so the subtitle of this book is actually making it in the dark. And how we did that was dressing up as versions and really blending into the society down here of criminals and people that are never going to see the light of day again. How did we do that? How do we disguise, all alter sides of us to survive and get out of a bad situation into a better one where, our real persona might not have ever let us see the light of day again. So this is really a self-help book for anyone that's in a bad situation that they don't like to be in, and they just really need to figure out how to maneuver their way out of it. It's how do you become that chameleon in the dark to work your way into a position where you can get back into the light. That's what you get with Pit Shop.
That's definitely Bruce Wayne's persona, a chameleon in the dark.
This is my take on that experience.
No, of all the animals, that's definitely the one that he's most associated with.
No one's seen Batman anyways.
Who's Batman?
All right, so I have a question for you. Is it Batman or the Batman? I just want to know how I should.
It's Batman.
Okay.
I might be wrong. I don't know.
All right.
Don't kill me.
Well, it depends.
Nick, care to have the honors?
I like it. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Nick, you want to jump in there?
All right, I got this. This is Pit Shop, the all-new self-help book. Are you self-conscious about your armpits, the hair, the smell? Well, here I am to introduce Pit Shop, the all-new self-help book that unlocks the secret to embracing your pits and go from loathing to loving. Sections include grooming, self-care, massage, recommended products and supplements, and more. Let's stop the negative self-talk. We've all got them. Pick up your copy of Pit Shop wherever books are sold.
I am so
brilliant. Yo, that was so smooth. I want Pit Shop.
Wow.
I have no questions. You have a mic you can drop over there? So, good luck.
Yeah. Good luck to me, considering this is my animation.
Oh.
Pit Shop, a memoir of an over sweater. Written by a anonymous source. It's definitely not me, who has sweated through many an embarrassing situation. This book is designed to make people feel better about how weird their bodies are. It's okay to be like, definitely not me, is the memoir. Basically, this person went through all sorts of turmoil and was actually fired from several jobs, and all because of his pits, but has since prevailed to become a leading member of society and is possibly in government at the moment. No comments who. Pit Shop, a memoir.
All right, so let me just do a quick going
recap.
back. So let's see. So Darby came in with an autobiography of Bruce Wayne, a journey through his pit of despair as Batman and how he's come back.
Chameleon Man.
Nick had Pit Shop. From loathing to lover of your underarm hair, which was fantastic. I cannot wait to just touch the table of contents. I can't wait to see what those chapters are titled. And Tomer, it seems that you're it's a memoir of a person that is blurred out in society. They're in deep cover. And it is how to embrace the underarm space. That's what I got. So, what are we gonna do with this? What are we gonna do with this?
I don't know.
Nick,
What are
you
we
definitely
gonna
get funny.
Mm.
I'm sorry. He gets fundable.
Ah.
No. Wait. He gets both.
Oh.
Oh, did you see that coming? What?
Oh.
Well done, my friend. That was so good. You know what got me? Like, I would read it because of how well it was presented.
I agree with that.
Presentation.
Well, that was delightful.
That was a
Looks
good
like
So when you guys are like playing this in person, like, are you encouraged to draw like diagrams and stuff? Like, here's the cover, the mock-up and stuff.
it's really up to everyone's choice. Basically, we wanted to make this game as playing to as many people's strengths as possible, because
Okay.
a lot of people may be more serious and just kind of like very logical, so they go for like the fundable ideas, or they go for the silly ones, or they just like to goof off. And so no matter what, you can still get points, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm a very visual, like I'm the Pictionary person, right? So I like to sketch quickly and do something like that because it makes me happy. So that's great.
Okay.
So it's whatever you want. Our next iteration of this. So right now these have these lovely pads that are, honestly, I actually use them for a lot of note taking myself because they're nice with a little dotted feature. But we're going to be pivoting to slightly larger ones with whiteboard markers, not unlike this, with an eraser, so that they are reusable and a little thinner and take up less space in the box, and get to let you play with it a little bit more. That's one of our
Mother Earth ball.
Yeah, we're trying to make this game also last longer. So, you don't have to just find paper. You have it there, and it's up to you how you use it. Maybe you just want to keep score, whatever it is.
Okay.
Well, great. Okay, let's. That was fun and unexpected. And screw you, Nick. Way to go.
You guys are being nice. Beginner's luck.
Disagree. Tim is a very harsh critic. I know.
I am a very harsh critic.
I'm just kidding. Great. So I think right now we'd love to get to know you a little bit more, Nick, if you will, and then we'll shift over to our lightning round at the end, and we'll have some fun. We'll end with a little bit of spike of energy. But can you tell us a little bit about kind of how you got started with this business, or kind of what your entrepreneurial journey has been to this point with this?
Well, somebody, we were playing a board game, and somebody pitched me this podcast. What really happened? So my original side hustle was a comparison shopping site for footwear. And this is like, you guys may not be old enough to remember, like in the early days of the internet, comparison shopping was where you would go to a price grabber or a shopping.com, and it would tell you, like, look, the product you're looking for is available at 10 stores. Here's where you can find the best price. And so that's what I ended up doing for shoes specifically. And the site, that was like the thing I kind of naively thought I could do this. I just be the dude who sells shoes on the internet, and that this could be my thing. Like a lot of projects kind of had a finite lifespan. It operated in the margin between the cost of traffic, never got a lot of love from Google organic SEO, but they were, usually happy to take my money in the form of advertising, and then what that traffic was worth on the affiliate side in terms of commission. And over the course of 8, 9, close to 10 years of running that, like that, margin started to get a little bit thin. There were some months where my virtual assistant was making a little bit more than me. It was like, this is not working out anymore. But thankfully had started a couple other side projects during the time that I was running that, most of which failed horribly, but a couple did stick around. And one of those was Side Hustle Nation. So that was kind of the origin of that. 5 years, probably 5 years already deep into being a full-time entrepreneur. It's like, let's turn on this podcast mic, see what happens.
That's fantastic. And it seems like you found a willing audience. A lot of the, I've realized in the past, I think we all have in this room, is that when you're having some discomfort or some frustration, there's others who are feeling the same way. And so why not play to that resolution, right? It seems like that's kind of where you reached.
Right. It's be the change you want to see. Like I tried to make the show that was the one that I wanted to listen to, because there was other, I mean, did the world need another entrepreneurial interview show? Probably not. But it's like, whoa, how did that work? I don't know. Just always naturally curious about deconstructing different business models. Cause I would have friends, they would send me stuff from like, Sky Mall, or they would send me stuff from like just some random business that they saw. Like, how does this work? Where does the money come from? It's like, well, I don't know. Let's try and dig it up. And I don't know. It was always a blast doing that.
A lot of like micro MBA courses that kind of, by figuring out how each different little business model works, you like, oh, okay, cool. Now that's another tool in your belt that you can like utilize. I think that's pretty cool. What have you found in terms of, have you since been like, what is the model for this now? How do you find that you attract new listeners? What's the podcasting life like essentially for you? I'm curious from a day-to-day business life, if that's something you'd feel like talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the podcast landscape has changed quite a bit over the last several years. The biggest shift is probably the introduction of big money and big media. Like now there's, ESPN has podcasts, and the New York Times and NPR, right? And sometimes they'll have a production staff of 14 people to, make this hour-long show. You're like, it's just me in the corner of my bedroom, right? Like, how am I going to compete? It's like, I probably won't be able to compete with that level of production, but hopefully can compete on the content. And so that's kind of been the angle there. I'm trying to think of like what fueled the growth of it. I think the majority of podcast growth comes word of mouth, and you can, of course, do all the things like, app store optimization and iTunes optimization and like, keyword driven titles and stuff like that. But it's got to come from word of mouth. And that, I've had the same experience as a podcast listener. Like I'll listen to Hardcore History, one of my favorite shows, and I'll just, I have to like preface everything I tell my wife, like, I know you don't care, but did you know that like such like happened? And it's like, it's like too good not to share. And hopefully I don't think I hit that every week out, but try and aim for that, something surprising. Oh, I didn't know you could make money like that, or just, compelling, actionable, and hopefully shareable. It seems to be the formula that has driven that audience growth.
That's great. That's a nice little quantifiable recipe that you found. If you find like some good solid tenets to pull back to frequently, I think that's pretty helpful.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So how do you go about actually finding and evaluating the topics or the actual businesses themselves? Is it user generated? Is it what you think is most exciting?
A lot of it is kind of community driven at this point. A lot of the stories that you've seen on the show in the last probably 12 to 36 months come from just members of the community who've kind of either raised their hands and said, hey, I think this would be interesting, or other people pointing like, oh, you ought to talk to so-and-so, or would you mind doing an episode about domains, or would you mind doing an episode about self-publishing, whatever random thing it is, or I'd love to learn more about affiliate marketing on YouTube. Well, you know what? I would too. Okay, let's, figure it out. So usually starting with the hook or the angle, and then finding, okay, who would be a good person to talk to kind of illustrate that story. And that's, your odds of sending a cold pitch and getting on are not good, because they're just, the inbox is flooded with that stuff. And it's usually from some PR company and saying like, oh, so-and-so has a new book out. And you're like, this is not relevant at all. Like, come on, do your homework, people. But it's much more rewarding to feature people from inside the community who have a cool story to share.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Where do you see sort of like the next steps or things, or kind of a wish list of growth for yourself or the project, if you will? Like, is there a escalated version of it, or a scale that you're kind of blue sky looking for? While you do that, I'm going to try clicking this button here, and oops, I'm going to switch it to you.
To make me big.
How do I do that? There. That should work.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, this is a very fancy streaming setup. I never have a good answer for like next steps.
That's fine.
Very grateful to have, a very healthy lifestyle type of business. I run pretty lean, and okay keeping it that way. One thing I'm playing around with this year is kind of rethinking some of the email sequences. Like how are you showing up for people who are new to your ecosystem, and how can you get them to some money milestones better, faster, in a way that hopefully promotes more word of mouth sharing, and dabbling with some digital products, but also still leaning into the affiliate game through the website. So it's been a lot of fun, but just kind of maybe evolution rather than revolution. Like try not to bulldoze the whole thing and start over, but just like little tweaks to what's going on already.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very wise. Like don't burn the recipe. Just add some chocolate chips, and everyone's like, "Ooh, new." Why not? Hey, everyone likes pancakes, except some people. Just kidding. That's awesome, Nick. Is there anything that you feel that you'd like to talk about more? You feel that we didn't hit as much? It's very interesting to hear about your journey on this and kind of where you started from and all that stuff. But is there anything else maybe that you want to talk about that you're working on or that you're releasing that you want to give attention to? That's something.
The latest project for me was kind of a quick study bloggers SEO course called thetrafficcourse.com, which is just kind of a lot of over the shoulder stuff on like, here's how I think about keyword research and optimizing content and creating new content. That's a great pitch. I know I should have done the full pitch shop version for that, but that's kind of what's going on.
No, that's very cool. And I think honestly, experience there is invaluable, and it traffic fuels everybody else's internet side hustle essentially, right? If you can't get eyes on your project, you can't spread the word, you can't honestly generate revenue. And it's something that we're working on as well. So I think it's a big deal. Sounds great. We'll definitely put a link to that. I believe it was thetrafficsource.com. Is that right?
The traffic course.
The traffic course. I wrote things incorrectly, but I really like that actually. .com.
Nick, do you have is the shoe price comparison site still up?
No, it got shut down a few years ago. It was sad to let it go because I was like, this could be my thing, but thankfully had the other projects to fall back on. And so the shoe site, and then the other project was a virtual assistant kind of like review site and directory, kind of like Yelp for outsourcing companies that I actually sold toward the end of last year. So that was actually predating Side Hustle Nation. That's like, oh, this is my first experience, like, dabbling in WordPress and really SEO and any of this stuff. That was a really cool project to become part of that industry for almost a decade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sounds it.
Well, we'll put all the links into for people to find the Side Hustle Nation podcast and all those goodies. And we'd love to hear what our audience learned from yours, and vice versa, and see where it pops up. I think there's an obvious even verbal synergy between our two brands here. Right. Literally Side Hustle. So that works out nicely for everybody you play with. Everybody ready for a little lightning round, perchance? Yeah.
Couldn't be more ready.
Good. Well, make some noise. How about take that, ESPN? You think you got production quality? We're here at Play Side Hustle.
These sound effects are in-house.
That's right, live, in person. Awesome. Well, I believe Darby is the one who has not been the investor yet. Let me just run down quickly how the lightning round works. We basically pick a category, and for some reason, every time it gets here, my dice have disappeared. So somebody roll one, and I'm going to pull 3 cards blank here that we will not like anonymously, and we'll pull them up And right as we do, the person whose card that is will have to pitch on the spot, whatever their first idea is to the investor. So previously, if it was something and this lifts it up, I would have to right away pitch whatever my pitch shop is that I come up with at the moment. Nick, does that make sense to you?
Let somebody else go first.
Will do. No problem there. I got 1, 2, 3. That's enough.
Boom.
All right. Do we have a category at the moment?
Nope,
Roll
I
it,
can do that
Tim.
right now for you.
Please do.
Ooh, it's a 1.
That's a
Investor's choice.
it's investor's choice. Darby, do you have anything you'd prefer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, whenever he's thinking like this, I worry.
Automobile.
Mhm.
Automobile.
Auto industry.
Delightful. Auto industry. I like that actually.
That's a really solid category.
Thanks, Tim.
Category.
You're very welcome. I'm not pandering or anything. I like your beard today and your hat. Lovely.
Great. Before he even walks into the pitch room. Tim, sounds like you're ready to go.
Oh, shiza.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's
All
go.
right.
Let's
Lightning
go. Let's go.
round.
Did you get
I'm gonna try this quick thing of throwing each of us into the big screen and play with the visual mechanics for a
Yeah.
moment.
Let's
Okay.
do
Let's do that. So in the meantime, Tim, your side hustle is Nutty Putty in auto industry.
Good old Nutty Putty. Well, Nutty Putty in the auto industry is the first edible flat tire fixer. So, we all get flat tires sometimes, and sometimes you gotta pump up that tire while you're waiting for AAA, but sometimes you also get hungry. So you need some Nutty Putty. It's made with multiple different nuts, so it has a nice blend of fats and proteins. We have options with chia seeds that help with off-road vehicles. And that is Nutty Putty in the automobile industry.
Delightful. Darby, any questions?
Sounds tasty.
It sure is.
Great. All right.
All right.
Nick, I think you got the idea, but I'll go next just to give you a little more breathing room there if you want.
Okay.
All right. Next one in auto industry, I'm going to go, and it is data bin. Wow. Do you feel like you wish you knew everything about your drives in the morning? Do you feel like you wish the optimal route was figured out for you every day, where a robot would wake you up and throw you in the car? Well, this Tesla will pick you up from bed, brush your teeth, put you in the car, and take you to work or to school on time every day. Data bin tracks all your movement throughout the day, plugs it into your perfect Tesla, and gets you there on time so you can sleep in that extra little wink. Throw those wake up Z's in the bin, the data bin.
Ooh.
So it's a Tesla transformation service.
Yes, it's also a database business where we track all our movements, and then that feeds into the car so that it's ready to go for you.
Perfect.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's how it goes.
All right.
Nick, are you ready to go?
Let's do it.
In the auto industry, your side hustle is Flip Wizard.
Flip Wizard. I regret that I only have 60 seconds to tell you about the amazingness that is Flip Wizard, but as any parent can probably relate, you have kids screaming in the back seat, and they are driving you crazy. You can't listen to anything. You can't tell where you're going. And no matter what you throw back at them, they just throw back up front. So I want to tell you about Flip Wizard, which is a installable, portable, limousine-style screen that you can sit down between the front and the back seats. Completely soundproof, bulletproof. You will not know what is going on back there, but it does have a little button that you can press where it's one-way tinted glass. So you can still see what's going on, just make sure nobody's dying. But the soundproof will still be in effect, and then you can use the car's built-in speaker to, shout instructions if need be. That is Flip Wizard.
Wow. Sounds like you
That's
guys
pretty amazing.
forgot about the entire Uber industry as a side market.
There you go. There's plenty of business for Flip Wizard. That's right. Keep your Uber driver safe from COVID. Perfect.
Perfect. So I like the one-way tinted. See a lot of diverse uses for this with the Flip Wizard. Yeah, got to keep the kids quiet. Then we got Tomer, who is the Tesla transportation movement tracking service in the automotive industry. And then Tim with the edible flat tire fixer.
Mm-hmm.
Putty. All right, my friend.
Nutty Putty. Yeah. And then Tomer was Data Bin. Sorry about that. These were all very good. Tomer, unfortunately, yours was not as good as the other two. So you got third. No card. Tim, funny. Nick, fundable.
Boom. And Nick, you won every round here. You won a card every round plus a double. And so you are the official winner today. And so congratulations on that one. Well done, Nick.
Wow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, Nick, why don't you just give everybody a quick little final thing about how they can find you, your products, etc., and then we'll hop to the end.
You bet. So, of course, we'd love to have you tune into the Side Hustle Show. You'll find it in any of your favorite podcast apps. SideHustleNation.com is the home base. If you hit up SideHustleNation.com/ideas, you'll find the constantly updated laundry list of different part-time ideas that hopefully inspires you to open up 8 or 10 different tabs and say, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to learn more about that. So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And if you guys are watching this and you thought this was fun, it is. Come play, come join us. If you feel like you would love to join us on the show itself, send an email over to Tim up here at playsidehustle.com. Send him an email and we'll get you set up. In the meantime, if you want to play our game at home, find us on Amazon. It's available today. And if you want to share your pitches and what you've been coming up with, send it to @PlaySideHustle. That's our show. We're here every Tuesday at 2. We are looking forward to next week. Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone at home, stay safe. Have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Bye.
See everybody.